don't hate play.
Yeah, you can't help but laugh when you even hear this trailer.
I know.
And you especially hear one of the best in the game delivering those punchlines, Loretta Devine. She's amazing, and she co-stars in a new series, Family Reunion, premiering on July 10th on Netflix. And the other star, and I won't even say the other star, the one starring in this series is a family member, DB. Can you run down some of the accolades?
Sure. I mean, obviously The Game, Baggage Claim, 17 Again, but her and her sister Tamara were in the news recently because they just had the NBA draft, and they did a little game with some of the rookies that had just got drafted to see if they could guess certain things from the 90s, because a lot of these kids were born in like 99, 2000, and Sister came up as one of the options that they had to try and guess, and some of them got it wrong, which was kind of upsetting.
I was like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Some of them, they did get it right, too.
Right. Yeah,
that was like, one guy said, that's Tia and Tamara. I was like,
There you go.
I showed my husband that because I thought it was hilarious.
But they were getting stuff like Outkast wrong.
I know. Come on.
Man,
One guy said Andre 4000 or some shit.
Oh, no,
No, I know.
blasphemous.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, she's here with us this morning, and her husband is a good friend of mine. I
Yes.
consider him a brother.
Yes, he loves you, man.
Man, he's one of the most solid people I ever met through entertainment. And I won't even say in entertainment because it's beyond that for us. But his lovely wife, she's her own person first. The one and only Tia Mowry. Oops. My bad.
No, that's okay.
Tia, how are you?
Man, I am doing so well. I feel so blessed.
Yeah.
You know, just to be still in the game. I was
you
like,
talk about it.
yeah, I mean, this is like my 4th television show, and I've done like over 400 episodes of TV, and to just still be enjoying what I do, I'm just so grateful. You know what I mean? To just be where I am right now. So I'm just happy to be here.
Were you always grateful, or there was a period of time, because sometimes you could get caught up in the work so much you don't realize what you have?
I was always grateful. You have to understand that I've always had such an amazing support system, and that support system would have to be my mother and my dad. My mom, she's always just taught my sister and I about being humble, just being appreciative. I have this quote that I absolutely love, and it's, where there is appreciation, all things flow. So when you are always coming into a situation just being appreciative and just grateful, you take on whatever you're doing from a different perspective. So my point is I've always been the type of person to find joy and to find the good in every situation.
Yeah.
And it stems from, realizing life is short. Right? We really don't have a lot of time on this earth when you look at it, from a big picture, and you can never take tomorrow back. It's gone.
Yeah.
So when I'm in the present and when I'm just, I always find everything to be grateful for, to just look at the positive, and, it helps me get through my day. Does that mean that, I don't go through things, or there are periods in my life where I'm down? Yes, but I don't let that overtake me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's just the way I am, and it's my mother and my dad. They're just really good people, and
yeah, there it is, and it rubbed off on you.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for them.
Yes.
So.
How does that so that gives you the blueprint for Cairo then, Yes. What to install in your daughter.
Oh yes.
My daughter wrote me this really amazing Father's Day card.
Oh.
And I didn't realize how much she listens to the things I tell her. But she repeated things I've been telling her since she's 20 now.
I know,
so
that's amazing.
20, damn it. It's more amazing than you know.
It happens so fast too, I'm sure.
So fast.
Yeah.
And then she repeated it in the card. And what I told her was something that my grandfather had told me about always presenting your best self in every situation that you approach. Give it your best you, and I used to use that. So when she was acting a little crazy as a kid, I didn't whoop her. And I always thought, is that your best you?
Aww.
When you give their best you, the world brightens up.
Yeah,
She repeated that in the card. And so you get a chance to give your daughter all that same information.
You know, it's interesting that you're talking about Cairo, and, you know, I do have a son, too. And today is his birthday.
This is his birthday?
His birthday is today.
Yes.
Happy birthday, young citizen.
How old is he?
He's 8.
Woo.
And you know what? He's 8, you guys, but he is almost taller than me.
Wow.
Like, he is the size of a average 12-year-old. He is huge, and he's my heart. But my point is that my son is a part of me, right? But my daughter is an extension of me. And just raising her and then, you know, raising Cree, it's been so different. And it's been different because, you know, I am a woman, and I have an idea of what she is really going to be going through as she evolves and as she grows into, you know, becoming a woman. And it's just been so amazing just seeing and watching her grow.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow,
So
that's great. So how much of your family values in real life will we see integrated in family reunion in TV life?
Yeah. Let me tell you, I was so excited about this show for several reasons. Number one, I sat down with Meg, who's the creator of the show, and I was like, dude, I've got to be a part of the show. I said, because you do not understand, this is my life. Like, I grew up in the church. My mom, she is actually studying right now to be not really a preacher, but an evangelist. And then my grandmother, who passed away in January, she was an evangelist. But we grew up in the church. You know, my mom would sing in the choir. We would go every Wednesday, every Sunday. But my point is that now that I'm grown, I'm not so traditional. Okay. You know, my mom is very traditional and I'm non-traditional. I like just go with the flow with my parenting styles and just in life in general. And I appreciate all, you know, religions. And that's Coco. The character that I play, that's who she is. She just goes with the flow. You know, she's all about, you know, trying to be cool and having fun. The way she disciplines her children. She doesn't spank them. I don't spank my child, but I was whooped as a child.
You were like we talking extension cord.
Extension cord.
Oh,
I was whooped.
You were beat. There's a difference.
So what I'm saying is, this show, I so relate to it, and I do believe that a lot of people will relate to this show because it comes from a real grounded place, and I love the way it's the new age versus the old age, or the traditional versus the non-traditional, but you respect the traditional,
yes.
You know what I mean? But then you're asking for the traditional to be a little open to the way you see the new way, and how you raise your kids, and etc. How you see life.
Tia, I'm so glad you brought up this conversation. We had no idea you would do this because Sway was just in the Bronx the other day. Okay. Walking down the street claiming he was minding his business.
Okay.
And he saw a mom whoop her. Okay. She nicked her daughter on the nose.
Nicked? Like how? Slap?
She punched her.
Closed fist?
Sway said she didn't cock back, but she
was yelling at the kids, broad daylight, 3 in the afternoon. We were on Gun Hill Road.
In the Bronx.
Okay. And I was commenting on the environment. I kept seeing kids and parents walking. And
not parents, single mothers.
Single mothers.
Okay.
And every time the single mothers were yelling at their kids. And I was across the street. And I was talking to my homie, Rich Nice. I was like, man, we got to intervene, don't we? And he was like, no. This is the Bronx. You mind your business. You keep it moving. I saw the mother yell at the daughter, who was probably about 13 years old. And then kind of pump faked her and then did this to her.
Wow.
I intervened.
Okay.
And was like, hey, I pretended like I knew her. Hey, screaming from across the street just to break the cycle. Heather said I shouldn't have did that.
No, not just me, Tia. Every single person that called this radio show says Sway should have mind his business. My question to you, if you see a mom disciplining her child, do you intervene?
Okay.
Tia, mom.
That is a really good question, right? Because I'll say this. I'll play the devil's advocate a little bit.
Okay.
We really don't know how this dynamic is. We really don't know how you said she was like 13.
13, yeah.
We really don't know, what this little girl is like. We don't really know if this is the 1000th if that's a word, time that this has happened and the mom has just lost all of her patience.
Yeah.
We don't know, okay? But I do believe that there are certain ways on how you should handle a situation. And if you felt at that point that, because you are a parent, you know what I mean? And you have a daughter.
A beautiful one.
Yes.
Yeah.
If your instincts was like, this just doesn't feel right, then... I think that's okay because, again, you also don't know this dynamic. We don't know if this mom is abusive in some kind of way. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because if this is what she's doing in public.
She's not siding with you, Sway. She said devil's advocate.
I feel like she's siding with me.
No.
She said devil's advocate.
She is on my
team. Listen.
But you know what I mean? Like, I guess what I'm saying is we don't know what's really going on, you know what I mean? But at the same time, as a father, you have instincts. And if you saw that this just didn't feel right, then, you're like, okay, hold up. There's a different way of handling this situation.
And all I did was created a distraction. Hey, hey, is that you? Hey, and I was across the street, by the way.
Told Sway if you button in, you could come get some of this knuckle game too.
Yeah, kind of. She was trying to get this to me like, mind your business. But the little
Wait,
girl,
she did that to you, the mom?
who the hell you talking to?
You were about to get it too.
Exactly.
All right. Well, look, we got Mona Lisa who's on the line from Wisconsin.
Mona Lisa.
Tia, you got the lines lit up right now. 888-742-3345. Mona Lisa, you want to chime in on this? Tia Mowry Hardick is here. Hardrick.
Yes.
My bad.
Good morning.
Yes.
Tia.
Hi.
Hey.
Grew up watching you. But good morning, Sway and the family.
Hey.
I just had to chime in on this about stopping these single parents hitting on their kids. I work for Child Protective Service in my county.
Okay.
And this becomes really a broad situation because it's a level of it, and you don't want to come off disrespectful. You don't want to try to tell somebody how to raise a child. But in the same sense, there's a sense of how you go about in disciplining your child and what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. And, and Sway, from what I found, from what I heard, it sounded like that was kind of inappropriate, a little to the extreme. And I would have stopped. I would have stepped in, too, and I was like, ma'am, that's a little bit inappropriate to be doing out in public. I don't know what the situation may be and what the little girl did, but, yeah, it is a little extreme to be going out. My husband be quick to pop my kids with a empty bottle on their head. And I be like, boy, what's up?
You work for Child Protection Services? Your husband is banging your kids in the skull? You are horrible at your job. What the hell you doing?
Oh, man.
No, you know how it's an empty bottle. He's
what
just
are you
like
talking about?
The bottle's empty. It's cool.
That's an object.
Is it a glass bottle? What are we talking here, Mona Lisa?
No.
Oh, okay.
A plastic bottle.
Okay.
He's old school and he's
See?
Marine.
Old school.
He believes in structure, and so he'd be quick to pop him like stop.
Wait, but can I tell you something really quick? I think when I started, because like I said, I was whooped, and I was whooped, not whipped, whooped as a child. And, I came out, fine and great. But how I see it is it's more about the parent. When you are going, towards a belt, I really feel that you're using your frustration and your aggression and you're putting it towards an object and then you're hitting your child with that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's more about them being frustrated and maybe not having enough patience to really... Because it takes, in my opinion, I know I'm going to be...
Look at Heather while you say this,
I know, but I think it takes... And I'm not saying, okay, spanking your child on their hand or spanking your child, okay, I'm talking about the extension cord. I'm talking about big, thick belts,
the bottles,
just using objects. I'm just saying that I think that's the quicker approach as opposed to really sitting down with your child, talking to them and telling them why you shouldn't be doing this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that takes more time, that takes more effort, that takes more energy than just saying, boy, get over here spank, 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 spank. You're instilling fear.
Tia won't invest in my idea because I have this discipline booth that I want to put in Walmart and Target. I'll beat your kids for you.
No!
And then up in the store. No, I'm on alert.
Oh,
And
my
yo,
God.
Tia, in Walmart and Target, the kids, I hear shut up. I hear no. I hear so many things that I could just take them.
Shut up, Mom. You mean the kids are saying this to the mom?
parents.
Oh.
And you want to take them to the discipline booth?
Yes, I think I would just rack up.
You would. You know what? We're going to come back. Hold up. Listen.
99 cents spank.
Okay.
It's a touchy subject.
Tia,
All right.
I mean,
Go fund me.
Tia Mowry Hardrick is here. You know what? You're in a very successful. You obviously give great advice, and you're in a very successful marriage.
Yeah.
And I saw a segment on Facebook that you do, and you do a Q&A, and I want to come back because you have people ask you and Corey about your relationship. You were very open with that.
Yes.
And so I thought we got a lot of married people who tune into our show. If you're having glitches in your marriage, you need some healthy advice, you could obviously Tia Mowry Hardrick has it because she agrees with me. So married people, call up. Maybe she can give you some advice. 888-742-3345.
oh my gosh, that is so funny.
And here we are.
Oh, man. That's
20 years later.
20 years later. Wow.
We've been together for 20 years.
That's amazing. Y'all been married how long?
10.
10 years. That's incredible. Tia Mowry Hardrick is here. And she's talking also about her husband, Corey, good friend of ours, good friend of the show. And
Hi, Corey.
Yeah, you guys, I know every relationship has ups and downs,
Yes.
but y'all
Yeah.
really have managed not to show us the downs. We never seen the downs. So like, you know, and I admire that because I know a lot of folks don't care. They want to be transparent. Mm-hmm. I personally draw a line with some of my personal information when it comes to entertainment. You don't need to know everything.
Yes.
It's a fact.
I'm not
Yes.
selling everything. You know, you get enough of us. But I admire that because I know it's hard. I've never been married. Heather is. How long you been married now?
August will make married 18 years.
18
Oh,
years.
wow.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
been a long
awesome.
time too.
But
Jesus, please call 888-742-3345. We need advice.
so I thought,
Shame the devil.
I thought Tia, you know, you got a new series. It's called
Yes.
Family Reunion,
Yes.
July 10th on Netflix.
You guys have to watch it.
It's
funny.
entirely black writers. Okay, so you know the comedy is going to be off the point, off the hook, right?
Yes. Off the point.
Off the hook, on point.
I knew what you meant.
We've been bonding all morning.
All morning,
All
y'all.
morning,
what you
all right.
meant.
So here, get this advice from Tia, okay?
Yes.
All right,
Aw.
all right. Here we go.
Marriage is a beautiful union, but it also takes a lot of work to stay happy and to stay together. We have Tia Mowry here, who can tell us how her and her husband Corey have made their marriage work.
Oh my gosh.
This is Tia's marriage counseling.
No way.
Right now on Sway in the morning.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is.
Sorry. I was just in counseling session last night.
Just last night?
Just last night with a friend, so I'm ready.
You ready?
I was counseling someone about their, relationship.
This is your calling, girl. This
Yes,
is a
so-
new thing that's about to start happening
Yes.
for you, okay?
I think we need to write a book.
Well, go
Corey and
ahead.
I need to write a book.
There we go. I'll read it. Flip is on the line from Nashville, Tennessee. Good morning, Flip.
Morning.
How you doing, man? You good?
I'm good.
All right. What would you like to know? Ask of Tia.
But Tia, congrats on you guys being married 10 years. That was a blessing.
No, thank
and
you.
it's hard in our community. What are some of the things that you guys work on when it comes to finances? What do you guys do to make sure the finances stay straight and that everybody's on the same page?
This is how I will answer that question because everybody's finances are different, right? So to try to make this answer universal, I think the biggest thing that is the most important, in my opinion, when it comes to finances is support. You have to support one another wherever you are in your financial situation. For example, there was a story that was told to me, or I heard about a story where there was this one girl who just ended up having a baby, and she wanted to, go on tour to, I guess for the show that she was doing, and her husband was at home, working, and the dynamic, he didn't allow for her to go off and follow her dreams. And so she had to stay home with the baby while he worked. So in my opinion, that causes a lot of resentment in a marriage. And then also you're putting all of your pressure on the other, person. So that just causes for a lot of, tension, in my opinion, when it comes to, a union. So I just feel like, support is really, really important. And you just got to make it work. Like, for example, Corey, right? I can only talk from my personal experiences. After I had the baby, I was home for 2 months, and then with a baby. And then Corey ended up booking a television show where he had to go to Puerto Rico for 4 months. Now, I'm at home with a baby, which means I'm going to have to, be there with my baby. But I was like, you know what? This is Corey's dream. This is what he wants to do. This is his passion. So it's going to be okay for me to sit home, bond with this baby while he goes off and makes money for the family. Because not only is that going to help, financially, but it's going to help build up his self-esteem. It's going to help build up, his passion and his dreams. So what I'm trying to say is when you're in a marriage, it's a union, right? You guys got to work it out together. So don't put all of that pressure just on the man to bring home the bacon, or balance it out. You know what I mean? If the wife has to get out and do what she needs to do because that opportunity is given to her, let her go.
Flip. Let me ask you this, not to cut you off, Tia, because I think that's great advice.
Okay.
Flip, are you meaning too spending habits?
Oh yeah.
Savings, investment, like how do y'all deal with that too? Budgeting.
Corey and I, we just talk about it. Communication is so important in any relationship that you have. So we just communicate about it. We talk about our spending habits. We talk about everything from investing our money, etc. But then again, Corey is really cool at supporting me. You know what I mean? He's like, Tia, if you want that and this is what you want, he's like, do you? Like, I don't know. I think it's just I really think that we live, this is again coming from my personal experience, I think we live in a society where we put pressures on certain genders, or we have these gender roles and what we feel and think should be happening. So what happens is if, the man's not bringing in the money, the wife or the girlfriend's like, well, you need to be doing this, And it's like, dude, we're only as good as when we are strong individually.
Yeah.
Be strong individually, then when you come together, you're this force. So support each other individually and then come together and support each other together. So I think that's the biggest advice that I would have from a global scale.
Flip, there you go, man. You getting this advice, man. All right, you're a citizen, Flip.
Sway in the morning, Flip.
Flip, go get him, baby.
Flip.
All right, I want to do one more.
Okay.
We got Crystal from Omaha on the line. Crystal. Good morning.
Omaha.
Where's
Good
that?
morning, y'all. It's flyover state.
Okay. All right, go ahead. What's your question?
All right. So, question is, prior to getting married, there was some infidelity on my end. My now husband forgave, but he's never really forgiven. And it's constantly brought up, constantly thrown in my face. And at this point, I love him. We've since had a child. But what do you do in that situation? If one person says they've forgiven and you're struggling to hold on, but what do you do? How do you save your family?
My advice would be, okay, first of all, I would look at it from this perspective. And, maybe, your boyfriend can look at it from this perspective as well. Number one, people always ask Corey and I, like, how, do we get by in our marriage? And one of the main things is, number one, communication, but the other one is forgiveness. I think forgiveness is very, 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 very important in a marriage, in any relationship, because we are not perfect people. You will always make a mistake in some kind of way, whether, that's the infidelity there, or whether that's just being incredibly insensitive, to your significant other. It's just nobody's perfect, and forgiveness is really important. So if he has to fully forgive you. That doesn't mean that, like you said, he may not forget the situation, but if he forgives you, it's also about his actions. So if you really, really forgive someone, then you're going to treat that person differently. So that's number one, in my opinion. Really understand what forgiveness is and what it really means, and then act on that. If that is really an issue in the marriage where it's hard for this person, to forgive you, then I don't feel that there's anything wrong with therapy. I think therapy in a marriage is important. Corey and I, we've been to therapy. It's an incredible outlet because you have someone else looking in your situation, and your significant other or you can just be able to talk, and then they will be able to listen and not take sides, etc. And they'll also give you just a different perspective on things, and then you're also just talking it out. You know what I mean? Sometimes the healing comes in really, really saying how you feel, really, really expressing, the issue that you guys are going through. That the healing could just start there. But I think, have you guys tried therapy?
He's not open. And this happened like 4 years ago. So he's still holding on to that for so long.
Well, in my opinion, if he's not open, and if he's not, open to helping the situation or changing the situation, then maybe there needs to be a change. Do you know what I mean? Because then it's not fair for you, because you have to continue to live your life, and it's not fair for you to be in a situation where you're constantly reminded of your, mistake. And, you want to be happy, and you want to flourish in your relationship. And if this is holding you back, then, if he's not willing to change, then unfortunately, I don't think there will be change.
Ooh, Tia Mowry Hargett is saying, hit the road.
Cheat on him again.
Damn. Cheat on him again. That's not what she said.
Oh, no?
Oh,
Okay,
she didn't
sorry.
say cheat on him again.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Hey, Crystal. Crystal, that's a
yes.
lot. That's a lot of great information. Okay, good luck to you.
It really is.
All right,
Thank y'all.
You're a
Good
citizen.
A
Okay.
Sway in the morning.
Call me
Jeez.
Crystal.
The DB, she hasn't changed yet. What do you mean?
Oh, sorry.
Call her Chris. Okay. Look, more reason to watch Family Reunion because you know it's real. All right,
Yep.
July 10th
July 10th.
on Netflix. Listen, thank you and congratulations. Congratulations on your life. This way you have curated your life, your beautiful family. Come on, absolutely.
Boom.
And my homie, tell him I said what up.
I will.
What up, Corey?
Okay, Corey, what up? All right, and then our people, listen, if y'all want to, she'll give you more advice. Hit her up on her social.
Yeah, totally.
Give it out.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. That was a cue up.
yeah, that was the
She's still thinking about Crystal.
Sorry.
drop the ball in the end zone.
Crystal got Tia messed up in here.
Yeah, I sure did. Drop the ball on that one. It's at Tia Mowry on all of my socials, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, Tia Mowry. And also follow Tia Mowry's Quick Fix, because I do have a lot of advice on that as well. And that's on Facebook and Instagram.
Don't be messed up, Tia. You did right. It's difficult for a married person to tell other married people, hey, you may have to start looking for a change. It's hard. I get it. You know, it's hard, but the reality is what it is. She's telling us as much as she can in this short time. Look, dude is not open. So, you know, what's she going to do? Can't stay in that.
Tia said it early in this conversation. You can't get tomorrow back.
No.
So don't waste. You only
Yesterday's
got life
gone.
is
No.
short.
And
Yeah, yesterday's gone, tomorrow not promised.
Yeah. There it is. Tia, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Later on the show, JB Smooth is coming up.
JB!
All right. We'll do some Celebrity Wire later, too, right?
Yeah.
We celebrating
We
today.
celebrating
I'm back
today,
from
man.
South Africa.
South Africa.
It's been a full week. Yes, Johannesburg, Cape Town. They treated me like a king out there. I didn't realize how much they watch and know what we're doing over here, and they are inspired by what we do. So we're celebrating today. I need everybody to go to DJ Wonder on Instagram. He's about to go live. It's Friday. Are we doing something special?
Yeah, Total Request Friday. So, maybe we can ask Tia if she'd like to make the first request.
Yeah, any song.
TRF, Total Request
Friday.
Yeah,
are you serious?
Any song. You're going to kick off the mix. Any song.
Oh, gosh.
Any song.
You could go hardcore. You could go.
It ain't got to be rap. It could be whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I am all about women empowerment.
Okay.
And I'm a feminist.
Okay. Say it with pride.
And I love me some Beyonce.
Oh.
So that, who runs the world? Girls. Who runs the world? Girls.
Sway just got back from Africa.
Okay,
Some African dances in there.
All right, cool.
I don't know. I love me some Beyonce.
Okay, kicking off the mix today, the one and only Tia Mowry, Hardrick, ladies and gentlemen. Sway the morning, Shade 45, the one and only DJ.